While I agree that over time that the West have constantly manipulated and exploited Africa and Africans in several, dimensions for their own personal gain, I'm also one of the lone voices who believes holistically that Africa and Africans are actually responsible for their own problems. The video clip you're seeing on this very, section is a trending video from Uganda. The man in that video is called Moses Ali. He has been in government or in governance since 1968 or 1969 up till this moment. Currently, he's a member of the parliament. I think he's second deputy prime minister in Uganda. And he's already campaigning for the forthcoming election in Uganda, which will come forth in January 2026. That is to say, he has been endorsed by his friends well-wishers political party for the next section of the leadership race between 2026 and 2031. I want you to watch that video critically. Now, if you begin to analyze the content of that very video, and if you have been following me critically in this channel, you will understand a few things. I am not one of those who advocate for very old people into public offices. I am not one of those who advocate for people who are not intentionally very healthy. I'm sorry to say this, I'm not in any way body shaming or trying to say that the man you just saw in that video is not healthy. However, the point I'm trying to make is this: governance is a serious business. Being a political office holder requires a complete health of mental well-being, bodily well-being, emotional well-being, psychological well-being, and otherwise. Yes. When I say that Africa is actually responsible for their problems, you see, the president of Uganda, for example, is over 30 years in office, about 40 years, Mr. Yoweri Museveni. He's going to face another opposition come 2026. One Bobby Wine is currently, gathering momentum in that country to give him a face-off in the next election. And here is another man who is campaigning. The question I will always ask is this: does it mean that we are not growing as people? We are not producing men and women of intellectual capacity? Does it mean we no longer have young men and women of capacity in Africa, in Uganda, for example, to pilot the affairs of governance? This is 21st century, almost like the highest of it all. Eventually, we are going to get more advanced technologically. The world is moving on a speed of light, and we are here busy blaming the West, blaming the Igbo people that they are the one responsible for our problems. How can very old people, especially when they are not stable enough, health-wise, psychologically wise, mentally wise, emotionally wise, how are they going to dish out the dividends of democracy, aligning with democratic best practices? How are they going to understand that it has become pertinent we begin to evolve in the technological advancement, which is one of the, the drivers of economies of most nations all over the world? That is where the problem lies. When people of this nature get into political offices, it is simply their families, friends, and well-wishers are the one leading by proxies. Yes, because they are the one who is going to be in control of everything he or she does. That is why I have never been an advocate of electing very old men into public offices, not even in my own home country, Nigeria. I don't want to support that. I don't want to believe that there are no younger people with intellectual capacity and leadership qualities to move the nation forward. I stand to be corrected, but this has always been my stand about politics, leadership in Africa. We are truly responsible for our own problems. At this point, I will allow you guys to be the judge. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section and share this video. May another person see am. God bless you.